All right. So mindful nerd moment for The Incredibles. Um, so I know you and you actually came up with a really great idea of one of the cool things we can do this season is the mindful nerd moments can be these superheroes and these characters doing really normal everyday stuff
Yeah,
that really relates to us as we practice the mindful nerd moment. And that I mean, we have some of those anyway, but
yeah,
we can just do a whole season's worth of them. And I thought that was a great idea. So, uh, the Incredibles, one of the things that really stands out is the fact that it's a family, and right, they're
right.
raising kids, they're juggling all the things.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be good to do mindful nerd moment of Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible versus the fighting children. So essentially trying to just deal with the fact that your children are bickering and they're just being just that obnoxious kid that they're meant to be, you
It's
know?
so funny though. Like it's so funny seeing it. Like being a teacher, like seeing that, I'm like, "Yep, there it is.
hmm
That's exactly what they do."
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
it's
So I'm
really funny.
picturing, Dash and Violet, they're just bickering. Dash is speeding around, being obnoxious, causing problems. Violet's, she's being a moody teenager, as only a moody, teenager can be. And Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible, their parents are just trying to keep their cool, and which is especially important for superhero parents because if you don't keep your cool then you might have some powers that get a little out of control. And
Right.
so for example, you don't want a bunch of like holes in the walls because
Oh
Mr.
gosh.
Incredible is accidentally using
Gosh.
too much strength, right?
Yeah.
So especially important to try and keep your cool even though your kids are being really obnoxious. So that's what we're going to do.
All right.
All right. So I want you to sit straight but comfortably, and you can close your eyes or just not focus on anything in particular. And first, focus in on your breath, breathing in and out. Don't worry about breathing in any particular way, just notice what it feels like, using this as a way to focus in on the mindful nerd moment. And I want you to picture the scene that I just described. And in fact, it might help if you picture yourself as either Elastigirl or Mr. Incredible, whichever one you prefer. And I want you to imagine you're all sitting around. Maybe you're at the dinner table. It's after a long day. The kids are back from school. Mr. Incredible is back from work. Elastigirl is settling down with everyone after cooking dinner. And you're all trying to have a meal. And then Dash and Violet are just, I mean, they're just being kids. But oh, it's grating on your nerves a bit. It's really starting to get to you. You're starting to feel your blood boil a little bit. You're getting tense. You're starting to think to yourself, just this is ridiculous. They're fighting and they're complaining about all these just small things. Doesn't even matter. You think of all the violence out there, all of the superheroing you've done, and here you are having to deal with this bickering match happening. And you find yourself about ready to snap. And in fact, you might even feel your superpowers starting to get a little bit outside of your control. If you move too quick, you might do something you regret later. And so you take a moment to just pause before you say anything or do anything. Yes, the kids are screaming, they're complaining, they're calling your name. You manage to say, just give me a moment. And you take in a deep breath through your nose, out through your mouth. And where you notice tension, you start trying to tense it a little bit just to notice where that tension is, maybe in your shoulders, in your back, in your hands. And you tense it up a little bit just to feel that, and then you release it and relax. And notice that difference between the tension and the relaxing. And yes, there's still bickering and all these things going on around you, when you notice it, it starts picking at you again. You say, okay, I'm noticing what's going on here. I'm noticing how I'm feeling about it. And then you let it go. And you just give yourself one more opportunity to tense up a little bit. Just notice your muscles, feel the tension in your body, and then release it. Letting your shoulders drop, letting your arms loosen. And then you move your neck, your head along your neck to one side and the other, maybe even rolling it around one direction and the other direction, noticing once again where you feel the tension, where you feel the release. You take one more deep breath. As you exhale, you think relax. And you remind yourself that they're kids, they're being kids. It's not always going to be easy. And you all can handle it. You're the Incredibles. Then you turn to Dash, you turn to Violet, you say, okay, what is it that you need right now? And it's still loud. It's still a little bit annoying and obnoxious. But now you're able to handle it without doing something you regret. All right, so when you're ready, I want you to come out of the Incredibles dinner table scene, and we'll wrap up this mindful nerd moment. So, how was the mindful nerd moment for you this time?
I like that one. Like I said, I always really appreciate the ones where it's like this is something that could legitimately actually
Mm-hmm.
happen to anyone. You know, it's not involving costumes or the jet
Mm-hmm.
car or the web swinging. It's
Yep.
just reality for
Mm-hmm.
millions of people out there.
Yes.
And so I really like the ones where that focus on that. I definitely, because it's way easier to picture it, and a lot of the times with those it's like I'll forget that I'm
Easy to
supposed,
translate.
yeah, I was like, I'll forget that I'm supposed to be, oh, I'm supposed to be Mr. Incredible right now.
Oh,
Like,
right. I was thinking of my kids. Whoops.
yeah, right. Right.
Well,
It's
and here's the thing is so you have kids, or anyone with kids might think to themselves, okay, yeah, right, Amelia, so I'm just going to take a few minutes, take some deep breaths, and my kids are going to let me do it. But here's the thing, though, we're slowing these things down. We can, because we're imagining ourselves through their meal. But if you think about it, taking a deep breath, it can take just a few seconds.
yeah.
Tensing, releasing your muscles, loosening up your body a bit to try and get that tension out,
Hmm.
you can do that in a few seconds. And especially if you
Hmm.
practice with the Incredibles when you're not sitting with your own family, you practice enough, you can actually loosen yourself up really quick. You can get really, really good at it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I totally agree with you. The ones where you almost forget and you're imagining your own actual life instead of the Incredibles,
Yeah.
that's a perfect place for a mindful nerd
Oh
moment.
wow, that's on the nose.
Thanks for nerding out with us. I'm clinical psychologist Dr. Amelia Brown.
And I'm educator and comic aficionado Keaton Hopkins. Check out my TV and movie reviews on YouTube at Team JVS. Check out our website at bat-therapy.com, our Bat Therapy YouTube channel, and follow us on social media. And don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/battherapy. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.